Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In front of me here I have a Yamaha R1M, and today we're going to be covering why this has arguably the best sounding engine in motorcycling. Now I know I don't look like Papa Yam. My name's Nico and I've actually been working here at Yamaha for about a year and a half, and I love motorcycles. I'm super biased towards Yamaha, just like Yamsters. I currently race an R6 and CMRA, and I think that the R1s are just the coolest bikes to me. I mean, come on, look at this. This is a giveaway motorcycle. We're giving this bike away. You have until the end of the month. Go to yaminoob.co, get your chances entered to win, pick yourselves up something nice. Enough about that, let's get right into the video. Now the reason the R1 sounds so good is because of that Crossplane engine. Although the previous generations of R1 didn't have that when they started manufacturing. In 1998, the first YZF R1 was released, and it had a conventional flat plane engine, which meant there was no crossplane. It also had 5 valves, which was very different at the time compared to other bikes. The 5 valves were just to keep more airflow and create more power in the engine. There was also the second generation R1 in 2000. It didn't have many differences between the first generation. It still had 5 valves, flat plane. There was also the third generation that came out in 2000. This was the first fuel-injected motorcycle from Yamaha's R1. There was the fourth generation that came out in 2004 with the first 1-to-1 power-to-weight ratio. There was also the fifth generation in 2007 where they went back to 4 valves to increase efficiency. In 2009, Yamaha released the first crossplane production motorcycle. Thank you, Rossi. Now we've made it to the 7th generation R1. This is the 2015 plus model, and it comes with a complete overhaul on the engine, making a boat's load more power. The engine has lighter internals, higher compression ratio, it revs a lot more. It revs to about 14,300 RPM. It's not as much as the V4R, but it's still pretty cool, it's still pretty sick. But there's another purpose behind this engine other than its soundtrack. Now, before the Crossplane engine was mass produced to the public, it had originally been tested in MotoGP by someone named Valentino Rossi. I don't know if you've heard of him. If you haven't, you can click off the video. No, I'm just kidding. But from the years 2000 to 2003, Rossi was racing with Honda and won a few championships with them, but he held some grudges. He wasn't getting along with the factory team that well. So he tried to make the transition over to Yamaha, in spite Honda, to show that any rider is capable of winning and that it's not the bike, it's the rider that will win the championship. When Rossi went to go test the MotoGP bike, the engineers gave him a few different options for engine layouts. The first one was just the conventional inline 4 flat plane with 4 valves. It could also be a 5 valve if he wanted, and then there was also the Crossplane engine. He was the only person to choose this option, and he brought it into MotoGP and started winning races with it. And Crossplane had a really big impact on the M1 platform in MotoGP. There were some drawbacks like the increased weight and the lack of acceleration compared to the other MotoGP bikes, which were making more power, but there wasn't necessarily, the riders were not able to control it as easily as the M1 with Crossplane. And Rossi used this to have better exit corner speed and better grip because the power delivery was much smoother than the more raw and aggressive MotoGP bikes at the time. In spite of Honda, Rossi actually won the MotoGP championship in 2004 and 2005 after he switched from Honda the previous years. But to get into the nitty-gritty about the Crossplane engine, we can compare it to normal flat plane engines that have a standard firing order, which is different from the unique firing order that this engine offers. Other modern leader bikes share the same conventional flat plane engine, and they're bikes like your BMW S1000RRs, your Fireblades, your Gixxers, your ZX10s. They all do sound good, but there's one really big drawback that they all share. These flat plane engines have something called inertial torque, which basically means that the crank isn't moving at a constant rate. So when two pistons are starting, two pistons are stopping. which makes it to where the bike is unpredictable. The flat plane engines have more power than a crossplane, but the crossplane allows that power to be used in a more manageable way. Like I said earlier, the crossplane engine has some drawbacks, like there needing to be counterweights added to the engine to help counteract primary forces. Things like the balancing shaft, which will move at the same rate of speed as the crank to help stop vibration and keep the bike running smoother. But why does the crossplane sound the way it does? The reason that engines sound the way they do has to do with the firing interval of the pistons. So in a conventional flat plane engine, the pistons are fired off every 180 degrees. But with crossplane, the engine order fires off from 180 degrees to 90 to 180 to 270 degrees, making a different soundtrack that we interpret, and that's why this thing is the best sounding motorcycle in existence. You guys know I had to do this for you. All right, we're gonna do a cold start real quick on the R1. Best sounding motorcycle. Let's see something here. Yeah. Cold start. Nothing beats that. This is a giveaway motorcycle. You have until the end of the month to get entered to win. Go to yammynoob.co, pick yourselves up some cool merch. We have a bunch of new designs. Do not miss your opportunity to miss this bike. This is the best motorcycle, in my opinion, that we've given away so far. Don't miss your chances to get entered to win this thing, dude. Come on. You can't beat it. You can't beat it. An engine does have some drawback. Because of the conventional forces that needed to be and have the engine run smoother without it trying to kill itself. And to stop, to count, no, I'm trying again. Wow. I cannot. Flat plane. Conventional flat plane engines, and how they have a convention, corner speed and I forgot.
Keep watching Yammy Nerd.